Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
In Nepal right now, people are standing in line at the passport office holding a printed web page because the country's national ID system can't verify who they are. That printout is the only thing letting them get anything done. Officials are manually accepting confirmation pages by hand because the digital system built to make all this faster stopped working. If you've ever tried to log into your bank and gotten locked out, you know that small knot of panic. Now imagine that same login controls your passport, your taxes, your driver's license, and your social security all at once. That's what happened in Nepal. Since early July, according to Biometric Update, 13 government agencies have had authentication failures, meaning the system that confirms your identity simply couldn't. So how does one broken login strand millions of people at the same time? Let's start with the numbers, because they tell the story. Nepal collected biometric data, fingerprints, face scans, that kind of thing, from about 20 million people. But only around 7.5 million actual ID cards have been printed. That's millions of people already waiting in line before anything even broke. Now the card is becoming mandatory. For banking, for passports, for property deals, even for university entrance exams. So the pressure went up right as the system went down. Here's the decision that set it up. On May 8, 2026, Nepal's government canceled a global tender. That's the contract for long-term operation and maintenance of the system. They chose to run it in-house instead, in the name of digital sovereignty, controlling their own citizens' data rather than handing it to a foreign vendor. That's a reasonable goal. But officials inside the department have since said they lack the skills and resources to run the system reliably. They dropped the outside support before proving they could handle it themselves. Engineers have a name for what happened next. It's called a single point of failure, one part whose failure stops the entire system. When a central ID provider goes dark, every service that depends on it to log people in fails together for as long as the outage lasts. The banks, the passport office, the tax system, they all leaned on the same login. So when it fell, they all fell together. For the person in line, that's not a technical detail. That's not being able to reach their own money. And Nepal isn't alone. In South Korea last year, a fire in a single data center took down more than 600 government services at once. One official there put it plainly: a single battery room must not become a single point of failure for a digital state. Norway had its own login gateway go down twice in 6 weeks. Same pattern, different country. When you build everything on one door, one broken lock stops everyone. The sovereignty argument was never wrong. It was just incomplete. The problem wasn't choosing to run the system at home. It was choosing to run it at home without first building the skill to keep it running. So here's the whole thing in plain terms. Nepal built one digital ID to unlock everything, then took control of it before its own team was ready. When it broke, millions couldn't bank, travel, or prove who they were, all at the same time. The lesson isn't really about Nepal. Any country that funnels every service through one login is one bad day away from the same line at the passport office. Whether you build these systems or just use one to unlock your life, it's worth knowing what happens when the one door won't open. The full story is in the description if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.